What's up, people? My name is Sean McCormick, and I'm the founder of the Executive Function Coaching Academy. And today I am starting the first ever Executive Function Coaching Academy news. So I've been thinking about this idea for a long time, and I've been totally avoiding it. And here's why. I've been overthinking it. I've been thinking about what kind of camera should I use? What's going to be the perfect lighting? What recording software do I use? And I've just overthought my way into not doing this news, which I know is going to be helpful for executive function coaching coaches out there. So instead of overthinking it, today I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get started. And that's what the focus of this episode is going to be about, is getting started even when things aren't perfect, even when it feels messy, because that's how you build your coaching business. All right, so let me just give you a little background. Instead of having the perfect setup, what I decided to do was I used my phone. You can do this little thing where you connect your phone to Zoom and it will record a high quality image using your phone. I'm using what I have set up. So this is my desk, my computer, and I'm recording on Zoom. It's not going to be perfect, but it's getting started and that's what matters. So let me walk you through what we're going to be doing in this episode. I've actually put it onto a little document here. All right, so hopefully you can see my screen and this is working out. So this first episode of Executive Function Coaching Academy News is going to be about getting started. And I've broken this episode down into a few sections. So there's going to be what you'll get from this episode, why people don't get started, tools that can help you get started, and a little quote I like on the subject, and a summary. All right, so buckle up. We're going to get started here. So let's pop open this first section. And I want to talk about the power of getting started, the barriers to starting, and tools to help you start. Okay, those are going to be the main things. So let's jump into the next section, which is why people don't get started. Okay, so why don't people get started? Well, I think the biggest reason is imposter syndrome. And I've seen this so many times from coaches, right? I met someone yesterday. Her background was she had an ed leadership degree. She had worked in special education classrooms for over 20 years. She had worked with her own kids. She had built schools from the ground up. But because she didn't have a special ed degree, she had an ed leadership degree and some other masters. She was like, "Ooh, is this going to work for me?" And she kind of had that a little bit of that imposter syndrome. And I see this over and over. I met another person who had two different master's degrees and was like, "Oh, but I need a certificate to get going." And I run a certificate program, so I'd be the last to say it's not a good idea. But sometimes you just need to get started. You need to take that expertise you have and start. So where do you start? Well, we'll get to that in a few minutes. But this is what I'm trying to communicate is you already have the knowledge and skills and expertise you need in 99% of cases. No one lands on the idea of becoming an executive function coach without some background helping students in this field, whether it's a family member or students they've worked with. So remember not to discount your expertise or what I call your unfair advantage, the thing that gives you automatic credibility. Now, I'm going to be honest, no matter what you do, there's going to be people who shoot down your credibility, right? Like, for example, I have a master's degree in special education. I have years working in classrooms. I have years. The first thing I did out of high school, I didn't even go to college. I went and did a program where I was helping kids like with after school programs. That was how I spent a year of my life. But there's still people who go, "Why do you think you can be an executive function coach? You didn't go to college for that. Why do you think you can start a program helping people learn how to do this?" There's still going to be people who doubt you and judge you, but don't worry about that because they're the naysayers, right? It's like this is what you know how to do. Why would you not share your expertise with the world, right? Why would you not give your gift to the world? So you got to get started and you got to get over that imposter syndrome, and it's always going to be there. Okay, second reason people don't get started: perfection, right? Let's talk about that for a minute. What happens with perfection? You think, okay, I have to have the perfect business plan. I have to have a 45-page or 20-page business plan written out exactly what I'm going to do. But the truth is you don't need that. What you need to do is just get started, see what happens, and then adjust, right? There's never a perfect model. Now, I wouldn't invest spending dozens of thousands of dollars in something before you have some type of validation that it's going to work. That's why I left the classroom. I started coaching students, getting paid for it, and was like, okay, this is going to work out. I'm good at this. I can be helpful. I'm going to dig into this deeper. All right. And then lastly, decision paralysis. So many people, they have a good idea, but then they're like, oh, there's 25 different things I could do to get started. I was in this position today, right? I was like, okay, I got the day to work. What do I need to do to be most helpful to my audience of educators and people who want to become EF coaches or people who are EF coaches? And I was like, there's so many things I can do. So I sat down in my chair. Let me see if I can turn. I'm gonna do a live action shot here. Check this out. Let's see here if I can turn this for a second. I sat down in that chair right there and asked myself, what would be the most helpful thing I could do for my audience today? And you know what it was? It was recording this episode, getting started, not just avoiding doing the thing I needed to do. So there you go. You can probably sit down in a chair and ask yourself, hey, if I did one thing today, and I preach this book, The One Thing, it's all about what is your one thing today. I tell people like, what is the one thing you could do today towards your long-term vision of success? All right, so those are kind of the three big reasons why people avoid getting started. Let's jump into the next section, which is tools to help you get started. Okay, so I'm going to share a couple tools here. I've got a free tool, which I've been using for many years. This is called my CEO dashboard, like my executive function dashboard. And I started using this like 5 years ago when I was leaving the classroom, and I just answered these questions. I built this after reading the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And so you just write down like, what is the wealth I desire, right? Like that would, and this could be a number like, hey, if I made this money, much money, I could leave the classroom and start doing this work on my own or whatever it might be. Then you write a definite date by which you hope to possess this. Now, here's the key. What are you going to give in return for the wealth that you're going to create for yourself? This is the important part. Most people go into like, or a lot of people struggle with get rich quick schemes because they're like, oh, I'm going to sell, makeup or I'm going to sell whatever it might be. And I did that too. I was running around when I was trying to break free from teaching, selling cell phones, offering to be a wedding planner, all types of things because I was desperate to get out of teaching because it was crushing my soul. Right. But what I did was when I started to think about this, I was like, what do I have to offer the world? And the thing that became abundantly clear for me after talking to my friends and people in my life was that I'm really good at teaching complex subjects to people. I can teach anybody almost anything. It's just a gift I have that I've cultivated since childhood. I like to explain things, right? And then you ask yourself, now how do I show up for these people each week? And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm showing up for you because I know this is the best thing I can do with my unique expertise. And then you keep going and you break it down into like some 3 to 6 month plans, right? I'm going to release, whether it's I'm going to build a little website, I'm going to write out my value proposition. And lastly, think about who you need to be. When things fall apart, when things get overwhelming, who do you need to be? And I have on my wall over here, it says calm, confident, and committed, right? So it's like, who do you need to be? Because your goals will change, life will change, things pop up, but who do you need to be? All right. So those are a free tool for you. You can fill that out. The CEO dashboard, let me show you where you can find that. I will pop open my Google Chrome. So you can find this under the download section of Executive Function Coaching Academy. There's a free CEO dashboard template that you can get. It's going to help you get started there. There's a bunch of other cool stuff, including this how to start your coaching business in 5 steps framework. So this is like, if you're like, I don't know where to start, but I want to be an EF coach, like start there. It's right there for you. These are things I actually use with my coaching clients that I'm sure will be helpful if you dig into them. Okay, now let's go back and check out, that's the free one. Okay, also, I have an awesome YouTube channel. Well, I think it's awesome. It's small, but you don't need a big channel to be successful. That's the lie that we have learned in social media is people think you need like 1 million followers to like make any money or be successful. I have 5,000 followers, which I'm not saying it's a small number. For me, it's taken me like 4 years to get here. Like you can look down. If I go to oldest, like I posted these videos 5 years ago. Like it's been a while. I've grown, this much and I'm proud of it. And what I want to share with you is if you want to get started, like check out this how to become an EF coach or how to run a coaching session. Here's a little secret for people from creators is that most creators, they give all their good stuff away for free, right? You could find pretty much everything they're offering for free. The reason you pay for things from people is because they typically make it easier to quickly implement it. That's like the value of the course or the community is that they usually have it laid out in a way. But this is all free for you. So if you have the time and the attention, like go watch some of these videos if you're wanting to start here, executive function coach. This will help you get started. Okay. So now if you want to pay because you're like, I want to move quicker towards my goal, I have a couple of things for you. So one, I have this thing called the transition kit toolkit. So this is a 10-minute course I made. I was like, okay, if someone only had 10 minutes, what could I give them that would like help them move forward? This course will teach you how to write out your niche, right? Like what you're going to do for someone, how to run a coaching session. I've got like a breakdown with documents here. How to set your rate, right? So there's a little video and a tool that I use to help people set their rates. A, a sample contract you can use that you can download, and then how to get clients, like literally like the exact process I've used to attract over 400 clients to my executive function coaching business and teaching to people all around the world. So this course is like $10, right? And I would give it away for free, but I actually think more people would do it if you charge a little bit because like when people pay, they pay attention. That's kind of one of the rules to remember is like sometimes people value something more if they pay for it. Okay. The last thing I will share with you is I've recently rolled out this thing called the 90-day paid client plan on my school community. So this is like a 3-month step-by-step where Monday through Friday, I have a 10-minute step for people to do that you can do in 10 minutes or less, and it'll help you. It guarantees a paid client by the end of it if you do this. Now, this is the thing. You don't need to know how to do everything to get started. You just need to get started and the tools will fall into place. For example, if you get that client in month 1, you can click on this course and do working with your first client. Like you can follow these steps. Now this is available right now. I'm offering that for $149 a month. If you're watching this in the future, the price may have changed as the community has grown. We've added more resources, but that is like a small intro step with a guarantee in my school community if you are like looking to take the first step and need some step-by-step guidance. Okay, boom. We've got like 4 options here, 2 free things, 2 paid things. Now I'm going to share with you a quote I love on this subject. So I just love this quote. And I'm going to like jump off here to share it with you so I can look at you, make some eye contact, and then read it. So if you don't prioritize, everything seems urgent and important. If you define the single most important task for each day, almost nothing seems urgent or important. Oftentimes, it's just a matter of letting little bad things happen, returning a phone call late, apologizing, paying a small late fee, losing an unreasonable customer, to get the big important things done. The answer to overwhelm is not spinning more plates or doing more. It's defining the few things or the one thing that can fundamentally change your business and life. All right. And let me just share that so you can look at that. You can zone in on that. I read this every day. I save it in a little pinned note in my journaling app called Day One. And I try to look at this because it's so easy to try to do everything, but that means you're doing nothing. Okay? Think about that. All right. So, summary. Let's break it down what you learned today. All you have to do is start. Figure out what that one thing is that actually is going to matter for your business and get started. Another thing to remember, if you're feeling overwhelmed, choose that one thing and ask yourself, what can I do in 2 minutes or less towards that goal, just to start? Because the reason we don't start is because we're thinking about finishing. We need to focus on just starting. Okay? And then what's the last one here? You got this. Look, I have seen so many talented, but maybe overwhelmed, tired teachers transition to starting their own business. And it's like, it lights a fire under their butt, right? When like we all have to get up and work, but why not choose something that you're passionate about, that's yours, that you're excited about? So this was Executive Function Coaching News, episode 1. You were here from the start. Way to go. And I look forward to releasing weekly episodes of this for you. So check out the YouTube channel, check out the school community. I'll drop the links below, and I hope to see you in episode 2.